Welcome to DBT Glow, the Valentine's Edition makeover show for your data stack. Today, we are giving one lucky project a full transformation. Think of it as a spa day for your models. I have Steven here with me, and he's bravely volunteering his project for today's makeover. We're going to take something that looks fine at a first glance, but show just how a little cleanup can make everything smoother, faster, and way easier to love. All right, Steven, it's time to make it over.
All right, happy to be here, and thanks in advance for your feedback. So I'll go ahead and share my screen, and we can get started. Okay, well, now you're seeing the lineage view, but I'll take a step back and say this is the DBT docs for my project. I'm hosting this locally, and so I have access to everything in the project, including the lineage, which I just had on screen, and more info about all the sources. And for some quick background on the project, this is something I'm sort of working on my own right now to gather up a variety of different data sources about transit data for New York City. And so what I've gathered so far is related to the city buses. So there's info in here about the routes of the buses, the stops that they stop at, the speed they travel at between segments, maybe most importantly. And so some of what I want to do with this is to analyze information about bus speeds and just more generally see what I can do with the data that the city provides to us. So here in the DBT docs page, I can show you the lineage, and you can see all the models of the project are here from left to right, like sources to outputs. A little small, I have to zoom in a bit.
Okay, hold on. This is a lot of models for bus analytics projects. She's trying her best, but honestly, this is giving overwhelmed and overworked. This project definitely needs a glow up. Can you walk us through what's actually going on here?
Yeah, sure. I see what you mean. It's definitely looking a little full. Let's take a look at some of these models and see if there are any areas where they can be simplified or improved. So there's one thing I can start with. I was noticing as I was putting this together that there were multiple data sources related to bus routes. So
Yes, I'm also seeing.
yeah, what do you see?
So with these multiple route staging models, what exactly is going on?
So there's one called bus routes and there's one called GTFS routes. And this is another agency in New York. I'm blanking on what the GTFS stands for, but I know that they're an official source for data. So it looks like both of these staging models are actually referring to the same data, the same raw data set. So let's see if I can expand this out.
So I guess what I'm seeing here, so all of these models are from that one source. I feel like we need to pick one and consolidate.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'm going to switch out of this view for a second so I can show some of those models. So here's the GTFS route model, and okay, we can see what it's doing here. It's a very basic select model, which is really what a lot of these staging models might look like. But we're selecting a few columns directly from this GTFS routes table. Now, I do want to call out that the other model here,
Well, before you show us the other model, I'm still seeing that there are still two models within the same source. So we still need to pick one.
yeah, for sure. So that model was the GTFS routes, and we should also see a staging MTA bus routes model. So let's look at that one.
And also, I want you to show me what exactly uses these intermediate models.
Sure. Let me search the exact name so that I know it'll show up right. Bus roots, GTFS roots. Okay, there it is. So this is the other model, and this is the model. This is another model that's pulling from that same source, and it looks like it's doing a bit more than the other model I called out. So there's a burrow from root dimension that's getting defined, and there's a service type dimension that's getting defined based on some of the other values. So between the two that I just showed, I think this was the one that I'd prefer to keep. I'd rather get rid of this one, the GTFS roots, because it's not doing as much heavy lifting. So I won't do it right now in this demo, but I will promise to you that after this, I will fix this up so that it doesn't use this anymore. And I pull this out and I swap the use for, I swap in this one instead. So that'll glow up the project a little bit.
Perfect. And then walk me through the root. So then go back to the model that we're keeping. Want to make sure that it's in perfect shape.
Sure. So that's this model. So as you can see, we load the info from the original source. We do a few field name cleanups here. So stop desk gets renamed as stop description, stop lat, stop lawn get renamed. And then, like I said, there's some logic in here that's converting the burrow names. And then this one, which probably shouldn't be in there, and convert that to a standardized name.
Can you just go back and check what depends on intermediate bus speeds cleaned?
Yeah, absolutely. So first thing we can see here in the docs is that it depends on one model, which is this segment speeds staging model. And I'll look at the query as well. So we pull from the segment speeds model. And then we set a speed category based on the speed value that comes from the source.
All right, so what exactly uses these intermediate models?
So at this point, it looks like there's actually nothing using these intermediate models. And when I was designing this, I must have had something in mind for the speeds cleaned int model, where I was cleaning some of the incoming data from the segment speeds. But now that you mention it, I could probably consolidate some of this. But yeah, do you see any other intermediate models I should check out?
What about the root speed summary?
Yes, it looks like it has the same problem. It's not, nothing is depending on it directly for anything. And also, it itself is referring to the segment speeds source model again. So that means both of these int models are actually based on the same source. So just as a little off the cuff thing, I want to try seeing how many models are built off this. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 models in here that are actually directly dependent on the segment speeds. And just based on the lines being drawn, I can see that 1, 2, 3 of them are actually not leading to anything. So this is definitely an important thing to consider for the glow up. Any others, Chloe, that I should look at?
All right. What about the intermediate stops with roots?
Let's take a look. All right, so this one's a little different. We have one int model that has two source models, GTFS roots and GTFS stops. And if I look at the code for that, so this is already not super great, but it selects star from source, this first staging model, and then it's also a select star from the second staging model. And then I bring them together down here, looks like with a cross join.
Oh, Mike, so a cross join. So you're essentially creating a Cartesian product of every stop with every root. And we've still come to the conclusion that nothing even uses it.
Well, I, thought I might need it for something.
You're not going to need it.
Okay, fine.
Less is more.
Heard. Okay, I'll take it out of the model. So, yeah, I guess the moral of the story there is that it's nice to add dimensions to your model sometimes, but it's really important to keep the model clean so that you don't have extra files in there that are useless or not being used for anything. If I kind of zoom back out to the full model here with nothing particular selected, you'll see a lot of these don't have downstream dependencies. So there's a really strong case to be made that they can just be removed, at least until there's a real need for it.
All right, Stephen, I'm just going to slow you down a little bit here. I think in order for us to continue, the only way we can is to go through our unused dimensions. So first, I want you to check what uses dim date.
Okay. Oh, wait, I had it backwards. Dim date. So according to this, nothing.
Nothing. So, right. Now, do the same for dim burrow and dim day type.
Seeing the same for burrow. And I might have the name wrong on this. Hold on. Oh, day type. Yeah, dim day type, dim burrow, and dim date are all not being used for anything at all.
So this is showing us exactly, with all due respect, why this is such a mess. You built dimension tables that nothing joins to. So we need to delete them until you actually need them. If you actually need them.
Yeah, good call out. So I'll add that to my list of things that I'm going to fix.
So now here's where we get to the real glow up. Stephen here is going to clean this up by deleting all of the duplicate staging models.
All right, so let me switch my sharing and I'm going to pull up my VS Code now so we can start to make some changes. Chloe, just confirm if you can see that all right.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do a new terminal entirely. And then I have a few helper scripts from off screen that I'm going to pull in, but we're going to start just removing some stuff. So here I have 4 removal scripts. So I'm removing the GTF stops model that we spoke about, and then a few others that we haven't had a chance yet to cover. So that takes out 4 files from the project. Anything else I should do?
Delete the orphan intermediates.
Okay, do that next. So there are 3 models that we have identified as kind of redundant. So I just deleted all 3 of those. And what's next?
Delete the unused dimensions.
Okay. So as we just showed, there are quite a few of them that are unused. So I'm going to remove a whole bunch of them. I don't have these folders expanded, but you'd see them dropping out of these folders if I did. All right, what's after the marts? Anything else?
Delete the redundant fact.
All right. So that's done.
And just as an added touch, can you clean up the metric flow?
This is another one where I just added it because I thought I might need it at some point, and I've been interested in. Yeah, what were you going to say?
My mom always told me, when you get dressed in the morning and you have accessories on, always take one off.
All right,
and then take another one off. So.
All right, I'm going to take a play out of your mom's playbook here. So I removed that. And yeah, is there anything else you think I should clean up in here?
So let's check our progress. I want you to run the regenerate docs.
Sure thing. So this is a command that will regenerate the static documentation. And looks like there were some warnings, but should be working fine. And then so I have to serve that. Sec. Oh, I'll do that off screen and then I'll start sharing it. So I'm running dbt docs serve, and when I do that, it gives me a brand new refreshed version of the docs that I was looking at. So now I'll share that screen. And hopefully we'll have a nice clean project here to look at. Okay. So here are the new docs, and now when I pop open the lineage graph, it actually didn't do it for some reason. Hold on a sec. Let me make sure. Let me see if I can figure out why really quick. Oh, because I'm already serving the website from somewhere else. Okay, cancel the old version of the docs, serve the new version of the docs, and...
All right, Stephen. So now that we've cleared all of that clutter out of the way, shall you show us the big reveal? What does the DBT project look like now?
Sounds good. I'll share my screen and I'll show you where we landed. So we're back in the docs. I just cleared up a few models and a few related tests and some other code in DBT to remove the sources that Chloe suggested that I take out. And so now when we look at the lineage graph, I don't know if it's a full glow up just yet, but we're definitely looking at a much cleaner model here. There's a lot less, there's just a lot less models in here in general.
Yes, I'm seeing it a lot. Yeah, it's just a lot cleaner, a lot more organized. This is great.
Yeah, so you can see all those models you called out to me. They're not in here anymore. And, if anything, it's making it a little more obvious to me that there's maybe even more models that need to be refactored. Like, for example, what is this bus stops model doing? It's not connected to anything. All four of these maybe could be refactored. And then there's maybe even this confusing one that doesn't seem to have a source connected to it at all. So, these things are always an iterative process, but I think we made some good progress here today.
This is wonderful, Stephen. This was a perfect example of a prime DBT glow-up. And I always say the best code is the code you don't write, or in this case, the code you delete. So before we wrap things up for our viewers, is there any key takeaways you want them to remember as they go ahead and attempt their own DBT makeovers at home?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this came up a few times in this demo, but if you think you might need it in the future, but you don't have a really good use case for it yet, don't add it because you're going to forget in the future what you wanted to do with it, and then it's just going to be clutter in your project, and you're better off just waiting until it has a known purpose. That's my big takeaway.
Exactly. Don't build just-in-case models, and check your lineage, because if nothing uses it, question why it exists. And just delete fearlessly. Git remembers everything.
And one other thing, I always am delighted when I pull up the local DBT docs website. I always kind of forget how easy it is to work with. And, I had a few navigation stumbles here and there, but you can learn a lot just from poking around on that page. And even just looking at that DAG lineage, you can visually see which models have sources coming into it, going out of it, and all that cool stuff. So feel free to, spin that up on your own computer every once in a while and try it out.
Well, thank you, Stephen, for being a willing participant on today's episode of DBT Glow Up. If you would like some more information about Stephen and Database Tycoon, all of our links to contact us, get in touch with us, will be linked above in the post. And thank you all again for showing. Stay tuned for next time.
Thank you.